Hey there guys and girls, this is Desperado421 and I'm working on my alt account right now. My alt account literally has 3 ships, which is a hauler, a Python, and a Type 9. And I use this ship for helping to run core. But what I'm going to be doing today is showing you the basics and the minimal basics of everything you need to know about mining. So what you need to have in your ship, some things that are best learned before you mine, and then exactly how to operate everything when you go mining. So including like detailed surface scanner and your prospector, your collector, and then how everything will all work for you. All right, so let's get started. And when we get started here, we're going to start first with builds. So I'm going to show you where you can look for some builds, and in the description below in the video here, you'll be able to see the builds and be able to click on the builds in there. So today I'm going to be using Coriolis. So some people prefer EDDB, others prefer Coriolis, but I'm going to be using Coriolis for this video because we're not going to be using any engineering or anything, so we're just going to be making a base model. So as you can see here, I have everything D-rated. D-rating everything here makes it, first of all, cheap and light, and it'll make it so that you can jump to your jump range isn't going to be as far, but it isn't going to cost you a lot. If you want to jump more, you're going to have to upgrade your D rating to an A rating, which means the price is going to increase a lot. So if you look here, this whole build here for this ship down here is about 529 credits. And what's really interesting is the detailed surface scanner is quite literally half of the price. If we were to put an A rate inside this here, then the price doubles. It goes up to 1 million. So an A-rated frameshift drive will allow you to jump to the location. A lot easier than a D-rated, obviously. But for this video here, I'm going to be using the D-rated, so that we can take and I can just show you how to get your starter cheap build. And quite literally where we're going to be going, after you get about 5 or 6 tons, you're going to be able to pay for your ship and possibly pay for your next ship. So this is really just a starter ship entirely. So let's move on to the next bit here. So when you click in this cell that or stations that sell this build, when you click on this, it's going to take you to EDDB, and EDDB will list all of the modules and ship and everything that you want right here, and then all you need to put in is put in your reference system. Now my carrier is parked in Pickham right now, so I'm going to be using Pickham as my location. So we're going to go find a station, and look, Bartow Hub here in 13 Trianguli has a ship, has everything I need, and it's only 18 light years. So now we're going to look here, and I'm going to try and find one that is a little bit closer in range, because 40,000 light seconds is kind of far. We can do this one here for 19. 474 really isn't that bad. So we're going to go to Gun Station. Or is it Goon? I'm not really sure. But we are going to copy this here. And now let's go back into the game real quick. And we'll start up here. And I'll get my hauler prepped to go. So I'll just do this in solo play so we don't have to worry about much in terms of pirates or other background stuff. Alright, so let's get my hauler here. And for those of you that don't know, cheapest ship that you can jump the farthest is the hauler. So it'll do like 30, I think it's 33 light years. I can double check that real quick before we go. No, it does 28 currently, but 32 unladen. So, and that's without any engineering, because I haven't gotten any engineers on this account. As a matter of fact, everything is all going to be done for the first time on this account, so. Let's take a look here. We need to go to... There we go. So now we will jump there. And yes, I am running Shieldless. Because if this thing blows up, it's not going to cost me that much money. Now we're going to do something a little bit different that that most mining videos aren't going to teach you, and I'll just tell you about it a little bit as we get to the location. One thing you're going to want to learn in the very beginning is how to fly without Supercruise Assist and without auto-docking. Now, I know for me personally, when I first started playing, that I would be like, flying without auto-dock, are you crazy? That sounds like such a big challenge. But if you can learn to do it, and there's some really easy ways to learn to do it, but if you can learn to do it, you will get more credits per hour in your you'll get more credits per hour in how you mine than if you didn't have it, because you're going to find out really early that you're going to want to have your modules specifically for mining alone. So let's go ahead and find that location. There it is, Gun Station, or Gun Station. We'll go check it out. Now, I know I have Supercruise Assist on this here, but I use it for a specific reason, and I can show you why. This is what you call a Supercruise, what is it, like an overboost, if you will. So we're going to try and overshoot the station a little bit, and we're going to hit the gravity well and use Supercruise Assist to guide us in without having to wait a long period of time trying to get into the station. So we're going to get a little close here. We're going to get it right at around 10 seconds. We're going to re-engage Supercruise Assist. It'll have us go down to 7 seconds. And now as we get closer to the location, we'll look for where the station is at relative to the planet. And it looks like we can overboost now, so I'm going to give it a go. So you misalign, get under 6 seconds, you realign, and where you would normally have to do the loop of shame, you're going to get shot directly into the station. This is also a really good thing to have, especially if, you are running cargo. So if you're running cargo from like a fleet carrier to another location, this is a good thing to have. Because if you're going to be mining, you may end up going to a large station, but more times than not, it's better to sell locally unless you haven't gotten Trade Elite yet. Once you get Trade Elite, sell locally. It's 10 times easier and you make more credits per hour. So we're going to come into the station here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to request docking permission. So I've requested docking, and now I'm going to turn off Advanced Docking Computer so I can show you how to come into this manually, because it is a pain. But it's going to be well worth your money to do this rather than to have the Super Cruise Assist and what is it, flight or the auto dock in your ship.
Take note of speed restrictions, Commander. Slow down.
So I'm also running Shieldless on a tiny ship, so I need to wait for this guy to get through the mail slot here as well. So here we go. We're going to pad 36, and I see 36 right over there. So now we're going to turn, and you have to manually put down your landing gear. Now we need to learn to use your thrusters to get you into the right location. And trust me, this is a lot easier on a carrier or a medium station. The large stations are the most difficult. So if you practice on mediums and larges, or mediums and if you practice on mediums and fleet carriers, you're going to be golden. So now let's go ahead and buy our ship. But before we do that, I'm going to show you what you can do to practice your auto dock skills. So what we're going to do is we're going to buy a ship, but we're going to buy a Sidewinder. And the reason why we're going to buy a Sidewinder, and we're going to store our current ship and buy the Sidewinder, is to do nothing but practice with going in and out of the mail slot. So you practice landing and taking off, going in and out of the mail slot until you find yourself comfortable, and then you go and you get your adder afterwards. So what I'm going to do here first, because this is a stock ship, is I need to disengage the advanced docking computer. And now since it's been manually taken offline, that means that when I actually take off, I have to use my thrusters to take off, which is what's going to happen with most of your mining builds. So, and our landing gear is going to still be down, so we'll have to manually take off our landing gear. So, take off, move landing gear, line up with the station here, like this, and try and get in and out of this mail slot without actually damaging the ship. Okay, and then once you've reached a certain distance away, which I think we're good right now, we're going to take and request docking now, and then we're going to go back in. So there we go. So now it's spinning. Now I have to make sure that if I just hold my steady course like this Coriolis is just going to spin like that, and I'm not going to be able to get through the mail slot effectively. So I literally have to keep my spin and basically roll with the Coriolis here. So let's go ahead and get inside. We got to find landing pad 28. There's landing pad 28 right down there. We need to re-engage our landing gear. Now the rebuy on this is super cheap. So it's going to be like every time that if you were to blow it up, you'd only have to pay like maybe a couple, what is it? I don't even remember what the rebuy is on this. We'll have to take a look. Yeah, the rebuy is 1,361 credits on a stock Sidewinder. So you can definitely practice as many times as you like on this. Hold on just a second. And let's take now... Oh. So let's take and relaunch here real quick. But before we launch, I'm going to show you something really crazy. We are going to take and deactivate our shield generator. Now we're going to come to the very back here, and I'm going to blow this ship up. So in case your flying skills or whatnot are not up to par, or you're not as good with your flying skills, if you blow up, it's okay. So now my ship blew up. Not a problem. So now we're going back to the rebuy location here. Okay. So we can go ahead and rebuy everything. If we don't want to, if we just want to get rid of all like our lasers and cargo rack and everything inside there and just want to use this for driving, we could even make it cheaper. So let's go ahead and repurchase our ship, which should put us back in the exact same station we were just in. Hey, look, we're back. Great. So this way you can learn how to fly using, like manually docking and like manually going through the mail slot. This is the best way to learn how to do it. And now we're going to go and buy our ship. So now we need to get our ship here, which is going to be an adder. That's storage ships. Eagle hauler, adder. There we go. So let's get our adder here. Okay, now let's go to Starport Services, and we're going to outfit this. Now remember, when we outfit this ship here, we're going to want to use the same build that we had here. So all of your information is going to be right here. Everything inside here is what you're going to want to put inside the adder. Okay, so let's go ahead and move back over to the adder. So hard points. Here we go. First hard point we're going to need is a medium laser. And those are missiles. So we need to get a medium. We want the 2D, and we want to make sure that it's fixed. Because if we buy the, 2D here, the price is different. And this price gets a little bit wilder as you go up. But we're going to use the 2D fixed. We're going to buy it. And we're going to put it inside here. Now we're going to take these pulse lasers here. We're going to browse the shop here. What we need next is we need more mining tools. This time we're going to get an abrasion blaster. And we're going to make sure the abrasion blaster is fixed as well. We do not want the turreted one here. Okay, so now we've got our abrasion blaster. Next, we're going to want a some subsurface missile displacement missiles. So we want to get this one. We also want to make sure it's fixed as well. And we are going to put this one in here as well. So this will give you a good array of things to mine with. Here, so now we're going to go to our utility mounts, and we are going to put in a pulse wave analyzer. You don't need anything special, so we can put the D in here. I select the D because it weighs the same as the E. It's a little bit more expensive, but the range is another 3 kilometers. So we're going to put that in there. And the A is super expensive, but when you finally get your mining ship, like your main mining ship, you're going to want to put an A inside there. Alright, so let's go back here. Now we need to go to our core internals, and we're just basically going to derate everything. So we're going to go inside here, we're going to browse, we're going to find a 3D. There it is. Okay, let's get some thrusters. You want 3D thrusters. Frame shift drive, we can do 3D with that. And our jump range is about 10 light years. Okay, we're going to put in a 1D here. We're going to put in a 2D power distributor here. And we're going to put in some 3D sensors. And if you notice that since we started putting DE stuff in here, our jump range has increased ever so slightly. So this gives you a little extra jump range without having to worry about much. Now this account, I don't think I've ever been mining in it, so everything that we're going to be doing in this account is going to be brand new for this account. So we're going to put in some cargo racks now. And basically what we're going to do with the shield generator here is we're going to be putting in a 2D shield generator. And the reason is because we don't need a heavy shield generator for the ship. We just need something that's going to be able to bump stop in case we bump into a roid. So I highly recommend this if you're starting out new to flying and whatnot, for the simple fact that this will keep you a little safer. Okay, so next we are going to need a refinery. So we'll go down here, refineries. So there are many different refineries you can pick up here. A 2D is pretty good. If you have the money, go up higher to C or whatnot, because you get more bins. Your bin count is higher. But 2D is a pretty good one for a starting amount. So we're going to put that in there. Okay. And next we need... Okay, so now we are going to remove... our docking computer, and we are going to remove our Super Cruise Assist, which is going to give us a bit more power down here as well. So now we need to put in a detailed surface scanner. Okay, and then next we're going to need a collector limpet. And for collector limpets, you can go D-rated because they're the cheapest. If you want to go a little bit more, you can go with A-rated, and the speed or the lifetime and the range on these is a lot higher. So the active range, this one you have to be pretty close to the item. You have to be within 600 meters. This one you can be 1.2 kilometers away. And their lifetime is different. So this one is 600 seconds, which is 10 minutes. and then this one's 720 seconds, which is 12 minutes. So for collectors, you can choose which lifespan and range and whatnot you prefer. Now, for the build that we're going to be using today, we're just going to be using the D because it's the cheapest, but I highly recommend getting A's for pretty much everything when it comes to collectors and prospectors. Now, the prospector, we're going to have to make it an A, and there's a reason behind this. When it comes to prospector limpets, a prospector, the higher the grade of prospecting limpet you have, means that whenever they go to scan a roid, the percentage that you can get out of that roid will increase based on the grade. So if you have an E, the percentage inside the asteroid might be lower than if you shot it with an A. So we're going to be putting an A in here for sure. And you can keep this and use this for your next build as well. So now that we've got all of the items inside here that we need, we got the shield generator, refinery, collector, prospector, and detailed surface scanner, and we've got a significant amount of cargo space. We're going to buy some limpets, and then we're going to fly to the location. So hold on just a second here. So I am going to take and go to advanced maintenance, and we're going to fill up full on ammo here. And I'm going to fill up on limpets as well, and you want to be completely full with limpets as well too. Now, just so you know, we have 16 cargo space in here, but the refinery that we had also has 3 bins, which means that you could fill those 3 bins full and be and still have space. So now we're going to launch, and because we don't have auto dock and we don't have Super Cruise Assist, everything is all going to be 100% manual. So we're going to launch now. And here we go.
Ship released. Watch for oncoming traffic when passing through the airlock.
So she isn't the fastest, but this is basically the cheap build to get you started into mining, and she will literally pay for herself right away. Okay, so let's get out of the way here. Now we're going to do some mapping to get to the location we want to go to. So we're going to try and go to GCRV 1568. And okay, so we have got to make 4 jumps. So we're going to make 4 jumps to GCRV 1568. Alright, so let's get going. Oh, hold on just a second. I just realized something. I have not set the mapping system here to go for the fastest route. So we need to go for... And it literally gave me the same route. Okay, well, keep in mind that this is the fastest route, and that's also a good thing to use as well when you go to jump to different locations. So let's jump now. And I wouldn't worry too much about fuel because our because we're not going to be in the roid field very long, so around the rings. I just realized that we have a new ship now, and I didn't set any of the firing groups. So now we're going to set firing groups. And I'll show you how I set the firing groups. Okay, so here we go. So now we're going to go to 4. We're going to go to firing groups. And then our first thing we're going to do here is we're going to put the pulse wave analyzer on 1 and the prospector on 2 for the first firing group. The second firing group, we're going to put the mining laser on 1 and then the collector limpet on 2. And then we're going to have the collector limper on 2 for that, and on 2 for that. And finally, we're going to make sure that we have the discovery scanner and the detailed surface scanner both on their own thing here, so that we can honk whenever we come into a system. So now let's just past it. There we go. So now we're going to make sure that we honk. We get the data for the location here. Now we're going to jump to the next system. Cutting it a little close there, but it's all good. Okay, let's make sure that we get the next bit here. There we go. So now we got some more data as well. Okay, I'm going to make sure that we honk again here. And the next system should be GCRV 1568. And we're almost there. Now, if you want to know how to drop in to GCRV and whatnot, I made a video about that before, but I was in my cutter. But now I'm going to be using this video here to do it again, but this time I'll be scanning it for the first time. So you can see how scanning and doing detailed surface scanning works as well. Now, once you finally get an exploration build and whatnot, and you want to go out into the black and you want to go search for rings, this is a way to check the rings to see what kind of hotspots they have. And we'll talk about hotspots in just a minute. So the first thing we need to do is honk. And there we honked. So now we need to go and we need to, look for planets and moons. And then we need to go to GCRV AB1 is the one we need to go to. Now on my other account, this is where I did a majority of my mining, so there are a few other places. There's Omicron Capricorni B. There is another system out in Parrot's Head, which is about 1,000 light years from the bubble. And that has a triple platinum overlap, which is also a really good mining spot. But we're going to use this mining spot because it was close by to where my carrier was. Because my carrier was buying stuff from this location here. So we're going to go scan this location, and then we're going to look for fleet carriers in the system, and then we're going to take and try and find a carrier to sell to that's in system. And if we can't find a carrier to sell to in system, don't worry. I will show you, on my carrier, exactly how much you can make on average with painite. Because that's what we're going to be mining. So now we're coming up on GCRV 1568, and we need to scan the rings. So if you see in my my secondary firing group here, you have surface scanner here. So what we need to do is we need to get in close range, which is usually about 2 light seconds, depending on size of what the planetoid is. And once you get into that location, you'll see it'll say too fast, and what that just basically means is you need to slow to a stop. And for this one here, we're going to be scanning the inner ring. The inner ring is the one that has the overlapping hotspot in it. So see, now it's switched to too fast, so we need to slow down. I'm going to get just a little bit closer, just so it's a little bit easier to shoot with the surface scanner. So now it's turned blue. We can now press the button. We can now aim at the location and shoot our probes. So I'm going to shoot one at the big ring and one at the small ring, and in case I miss that small ring, I'm going to shoot a second one, just in case. So that'll show you where the hot spots are. There. First one missed, second one didn't. So now we're looking for the painite overlap, which I think this might be it. Yep, here's our painite overlap. So you see how the two painites are together right here. So what we want to do is we want to drop in directly between them, where the small circle meets the big circle, and where they're both going to be in yellow range. And the reason is because we want to get the highest percentage out of the roids that we can. So I'm going to drop in right around here. I'm going to mark it so I know exactly how fast I'm going, but I'm not going to drop in directly on top of it. So we're getting close now. You can start to see the roids. So now we're going to slow down to a crawl and drop right in. So our first thing we're going to do is we're going to wait. And the main reason we have to wait is because a lot of times there are actually pirates here. So the pirates will scan you once and then move on. So we're going to look at our map here real quick, and as we get closer to the field here, we will probably see some blips on the map. And if you don't see any blips on the map, then you have a lucky instance that you jumped into. Sometimes you'll see system authority, sometimes you will see other miners, and sometimes you'll see pirates. If you have anything in your cargo hold when you jump in, and the pirates scan you, they will attack you. They'll have you drop your whatever you have in your cargo hold. So let's see how lucky I am today. Okay, well, it looks like this is a mining crew here. So, yep. See, he's mining right there. All right. So, it looks like we are going to be okay. So now what we want to do is we want to find a hotspot or a marker so that we can follow a single direction. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to look for a close by marker. So this is one we dropped in on. Why don't we use the other painite location here as a marker? So you see there's the painite location. So now what we're going to do is every asteroid that we mine is going to be towards that marker. That way we don't backtrack and we don't get asteroids that are that way we don't get asteroids that we've already mined that are already depleted. So let's go ahead and launch our hardpoints here. Okay? So our first thing that we need to do here is we need to launch a prospector. So we can shoot our pulse wave analyzer first to see if there are any yellow rocks. And look, there's a nice yellow rock over there. Now we're going to shoot this one with the prospector first, and then we'll move over to that one. So here, let's shoot it with the prospector. Okay, when you launch the prospector, you want to target the prospector. And then we're going to check here. Now, this one has 12% painite. But we don't want bertrandite and we don't want samarium. We just want the painite. So what we're going to do is we're going to get closer here. We're going to get in range with our laser. And we're going to shoot just for a little bit. Just like this here. And what this is going to do is it's going to drop. Oh, sorry. Needed to switch my power over to weapons here so that I could launch this stuff here and get it out. Now what we're going to do is you're going to press press 1. You're going to go to contacts. And you see bertrandite there? What we're going to do is we're going to add bertrandite to our ignore list. Then we're going to take samarium and we're going to add samarium to our ignore list. And what this is going to do is that when we go and now we're going to launch our collector limpet, just like this, and we're going to open our cargo scoop. Our collector limpet is going to go and pick them up and bring them back to us. Now what you want to make sure is that you don't select the fragments. If you select the fragments, then the collector limpet will die. So you want to just have the fragments free floating, and then the collector will go and pick them up. So we're at 82% now. And our collector is having a field day. Now for a lot of miners this is this takes a lot of time, but it's okay. When you're first learning, you start out cheap and then you work your way up to a more expensive ship that will work a little bit faster for you. So we can actually move in here just a bit closer. We don't want to get too close, but we want to get close enough so that this collector limpet can pick up all of the fragments really easily. Okay, we're going to get really close to the fragments right now. This way the collector goes even faster to pick them up. There we go. We got some more materials here. Now once this 14% drops down to what is it, 0, the asteroid will be depleted. And there we go. And so now it's depleted. So now we just need to get closer to these fragments here and have them pick up. Now, while this collector is picking these up, you switch over back to your pulse wave analyzer here, and we're just going to look for roids to scan and hit here. So we got one right there, so let's launch our prospector. And let's take and mark our prospector there, and we're going to see what's inside this asteroid here once it hits. So there we go. So this one has bertrandite and gold and gallite. Nothing that we want, but let's check and see what it has on its surface. Hey, look! It's got a surface deposit of painite there. So let's go and try and grab that next. So because it's a surface deposit, and we'll go back and take a look at that, because it says surface deposit, we're going to have to use our abrasion blaster on it. So now that our collector limpet has finished all of that, we are going to go and check this roid here, and we're going to knock off this painite. Let's see if we can find it here. There it is. All right. So now we're going to try and hit this with an abrasion blaster. There you go. So now the collector's going to go grab it. Once the collectors grab it, we can actually select it. And it's got 60% painite in it, which means that we probably will have enough here for 1 ton. Oh. There we go. And 1 ton of painite refined. So now if we go to our inventory, we can see that, oh, we have refined 2 tons of painite. All right, so now let's find our direction here. Now we're going to go and we're going to find another asteroid to mine here. Now, preferably, especially when you're first starting, I highly recommend that you go after the smaller roids. Smaller roids are easier to hit and you're less likely to run into them. Whereas you see this big one here has kind of an eccentric spin pattern on it. The likelihood of hitting it is a lot higher. So unless it has a really high percentage, I would go for these smaller ones on our way. So we've launched our prospector. Now we're going to scan it. This one does not have any painite, so we need to move on to the next one. So here's another one. We'll launch our prospector. We'll target it. Oh, this one has platinum in it. Okay, platinum also sells pretty high too, so we're going to mine this one for platinum as well. All right. So the first thing we need to do is we need to knock off a fragment, and we need to make sure that the gallite doesn't get refined. So we need to go into thing here, see gallite, add gallite to the ignore list. So that means we're only getting the platinum off this. Now a lot of people would ask, well, why would you do that? Why would you not want to get all of the fragments off of this? Well, the problem is that gallite doesn't sell for a lot. So if you're trying to make money off of mining, instead of just mining fragments, you're going to want to make sure that your cargo hold is filled with nothing but like platinum and painite. We might actually fill up faster with this platinum here, so. And there we got some sulfur. Sulfur, if you notice that we've collected sulfur right there, sulfur does not go into your ship cargo. What it goes into is your materials here. So you can see all of the items that we have collected here. And this is your what we call your magic wallet. And you're going to be using engineering stuff for your, or you're going to be engineering stuff from your magic wallet. And if you've noticed, from the time that we've left till the time we started mining here, we haven't used very much fuel. So we're doing very well. There we go. And our little collector buddy here has been doing a really good job. Oh, so our collector limpet has died, so that means we have to launch another one. So let's check our inventory real quick here. We have got 2 things of platinum and 2 things of painite, which should be just enough to basically pay for your ship right now. So core mining is another aspect of the game, but it's a more difficult and more nuanced way to play the game. So after we collect these items here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to use the subsurface missile. And once we learn how to use the subsurface missiles, then we're going to move back to the carrier. Or we're going to find a carrier and then move back. So right now I'm scanning and I'm looking for roids here. Now, if you set this up correctly and you want to use your free camera, you can use your free camera to look for things. I have mine... Oh, I have to reset up mine. But if you use your free camera, you can see everything that's been... You can see everything that's around you that the pulse wave analyzer can see, instead of just looking out the window here. So you can see from outside your ship. So let's go ahead and we're going to check this big one over here like this. Okay, I'm just going... Wow, that one's a little eccentric. We'll find something that's a little bit easier. There we go. Let's try and get there a little quicker. This one might actually be a core. Honestly, it looks like a core. Yep, I'd be willing to bet that that is actually a core. How lucky are we? Yep, that is most definitely a core. But we don't have a seismic charge launcher, so we're not going to be able to pop this core. But that doesn't mean there isn't going to be painite on the surface, and that doesn't mean that there isn't going to be platinum or subsurface stuff in here as well. So we'll go ahead and take a look. Yep, that's a painite core. So you need your seismic charge launcher to attack the fissures here. So we have samarium, palladium, palladium, samarium. Indite. All right, well, let's find our prospector here real quick. So we'll go into contacts. Let's look for our prospector. And there is 36% painite in this roid here. So we are going to mine this roid because that's going to give us a lot of fragment juice. So the last one that we mined that had painite in it, oh, and we have to make sure that silver is on our ignore list. There we go. So now, when we mine this here like this, it should give us a higher percentage in each fragment that we mine with it. There we go. The asteroid is now depleted. So now I'm going to show you how to use displacement missiles. Now these are not going to be items that we're going to be collecting, but they're going to be items like I'm just showing you how you use it. Okay, so here is a subsurface deposit there like that. We have another one coming around here like this. So what we're going to do is we're going to shoot a missile. It's going to land inside. You're going to hold the trigger down, and then you're going to release on the blue mark like that. So I'm going to make sure that palladium is added to my ignore list because we want platinum. So now we hold down the trigger and you release inside the blue mark there like that. Okay. Just like this. Oh, look, I missed it. But as you shoot these deposits like this, you'll see that you'll notice where it says 50% down here. That's how much how much there's a deposit is left. So once it reaches 0, you won't be able to use it again. So there's another deposit right there. And we'll release. And that one has samuraium in it. So now here's what we're going to do. Our cargo hold is at maximum capacity, so we're going to have to get rid of some limpets. So I'm going to get rid of 3 limpets right here, just so we can get all of the items back in here. And also check your refinery as well, because sometimes if your refinery isn't completely full, everything should be fine. So now we have to launch our collector limpet. See, and now I can pick up these items here. And at the very end, when you finally finish, you're going to want to make sure your hopper is full to 100% on all of these here. And you want to make sure that everything inside here is full. So now we've made we've got about 7 tons here. So now what I'm going to do while this thing is finishing up here is I'm going to show you something on Inara. So we can look at the average prices of stuff in the area. So let me shift the screen over to there. And we'll take a look here. So now what we're going to do is we're going to look here. And we're going to go to commodities. And we went under data here. So go to commodities. And let's take a look at how much platinum is going for right now. So we look in platinum. And you can see here that the majority of platinum is being bought at probably around 280 is what I would say good prices for platinum right now. A good averaged price. So now we're going to take and go back to commodities. We're going to look at painite. And painite's selling for a little bit higher, but everything's just a little bit different here. So what we're going to do now is we are going to look for things that are the closest distance to us. And what you can do is you can jump to that location and sell the stuff right away. So if we wanted to jump to this Alton gateway, we could to sell it. But we're going to try and sell. I'm going to take it back to my carrier and just show you exactly how much money you make off of this. So let's go and we'll do that. So I will be a pretend market. So let's go ahead and we will go into our map here. We'll go back to the Thrifty Grifter, which is the my alt's carrier, and we're going to leave now, undo our cargo, retract our hard points, and we are going to put all pips into engines because we're leaving. Alright, so now we're back in system here. We jumped out. Now we're going to go back to my fleet carrier here and we're going to sell the stuff. And we're going to use those average prices that I was saying. So now we don't have Super Cruise Assist and we don't have auto dock. So now we have to dock manually on the ship. So we have to be watching our speed, and we also have to dock manually, obviously. So. Alright, now let's come into dock. Make sure our landing gear is down. There we go. So So now we've landed. We've reloaded. Alright, so now I am going to go set the price here. We're going to look for painite down here. There's painite, and I'm going to buy 4 units of painite for about 280. I'll put it at 280. Okay, so now we have 4 units of painite at 280. So we paid about 520,000 credits for the ship that we bought here. So now if I go to the commodities market and I sell the 4 painite that I made here, we're going to make 1.1 million on what we had here. So we could buy 2 of these ships. And that's just on the painite alone. That was the 4 tons of painite. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing for the platinum. So I'm going to go here and set the platinum. We had 3 units of platinum. So remember, we had 1.1 million. And next we're going to, and this is only on 7, you had 16 total tonnage space. So this was only for 7 tons, not even a full load. There we go, and then we have 3 units of platinum. So now we'll take and come back out here. We'll go to our commodities market. And we will sell this platinum here, and that is 840. So all in all, this is about a $2 million run for 7 tons of platinum and painite together. And this will conclude our mining tutorial video. If you want, once you've upgraded past the adder here and you want the next level ship, go ahead and look in the description below and you will see 2 more ships, and then you can get your Python after the last ship, which Python is your the choice miner of most miners in the game. And well, thank you very much, and I will talk to you later. Take care. Bye-bye.